Today we're going to talk about drill bits and wall fixings. And the three main drill bits we're going to tell you about are masonry, wood and metal. The main way to work out the difference between these drill bits is to look at their tips. The masonry drill bit has what looks like a little spade on the end of it. A wood drill bit has a very sharp tip, and that means that when you're drilling into the wood it won't slip on contact. And the metal drill bit has quite a plain end to it. It's a good idea to have a selection of these three drill bits. You can buy kits like this is mine, with a selection of wood, masonry and metal in different sizes. But in all honesty, if you don't own any drill bits, the best thing you can do is get yourself some masonry drill bits, because these are the ones that you're going to use for all your wall fixings at home. So let's say you want to hang a shelf at home and you want to know what wall fixings to use. Now, to avoid that sense of overwhelm of everything that's available in the DIY shops, we're going to give you two really simple ways to know what to buy. The first thing to know is what wall type you have. Now, chances are it will either be solid or hollow, and the way to detect that is really simple. It's just to give it a little knock. You can hear that's pretty solid. I've got a solid wall, and behind Wayne is a hollow wall. So Wayne, if you could just tap on that, you can hear the difference. And I like to say that if you tap on the wall and your neighbour says come in, you've pretty much got a hollow wall. The second way to avoid that sense of overwhelm is to know the rough weight of what you're going to hang, and that's as simple as whether it's light, medium or heavy weight. So an example of those would be a lightweight picture, a heavyweight TV, and something medium weight like a shelf, which is the example we're going to talk to you about. So now we know we are going to hang a medium weight shelf on a solid wall. Now what we need to buy are wall plugs, and I've got a multi-pack here that allow for light, medium and heavy weight, so a good purchase. And the best way to be able to detect which is from the size. So obviously smaller plugs are for lighter weight things and the larger ones for heavier weight. The reason we use plugs is very simple. If you were to put a screw into a drilled hole, it would just fall straight out. So the plugs literally plug that hole and allow the screw to bite and grip onto something, which means our things stay on the wall, which is what we want to achieve. So here's our medium plug that we're going to need. And the best thing is, if I open up this pack, it tells me what drill bit size I need and what screw size I'm going to need to buy. So there's a very clear picture of a drill bit, and the size says 8mm, and a picture of a screw with two numbers, minimum and maximum, and those numbers refer to the diameter, which is the thickness, or sometimes known as the gauge of the screw. So we know we need the 8mm drill bit, but we haven't told you how to actually work that out, and it's very simple. It's just the number at the bottom of the drill bit, and look for the single number, and you can see that says number 8. And as far as screws are concerned, go for a general purpose screw, that'll be fine. And the length that you need, it will have to be longer than the raw plug, but you also need to consider what you're going to be screwing through. So here's my bracket, so I need to consider that width as well, and so that it goes through there, but also is longer than my raw plug. Now you have everything you need for hanging something on a solid wall. Your masonry drill bit, your raw plugs, and your general purpose screws. Now if you have hollow walls at home and you want to hang a shelf, it's really useful to know how plasterboard walls are constructed to help you find where to put your fixings. Now, this is a mock-up mini plasterboard wall that we've built to help explain this to you. And as you can see, it's got the plaster on the front, and behind are our battens. These would normally be probably about 30 centimetres wide. As I said, it's a miniature version to explain. And the plasterboard is here, and these are the battens. And the battens are the things that are going to give us the most strength. So if you're hanging something like this shelf, which is a medium weight, you're going to want to try and find these battens to screw your fixings into. The best way to find out where the battens are on your wall is to use our faithful knocking technique. So as I go along the wall, you can hear that the sound deadens when I meet the batten. And that's the way to know where that is. Now we're going to show you the special fixings and plugs to use for plasterboard and hollow walls, but the reason we're showing you this is because if you do hit a batten and use that to screw your fixings in, you don't need to use a plug. You can screw directly in with a multi-purpose screw or a wood screw and get a really secure fixture for something medium and heavyweight. If you're hanging something light, like a picture, it's okay to put that on the plasterboard area, but we're going to talk about now the special fixings that you need for these hollow walls, and that's going to really help you understand why you need to use those ones. Ideally, you're going to want to find the battens every time and screw directly into them. But if that isn't possible because of your measurements, we've got two different types of hollow wall plugs to show you. The first plugs to show you are to be used with pre-drilled holes. Just like on our other solid wall plugs, the pack of these hollow wall plugs tells you what masonry drill bit size to use and the screw diameter size as well. So the plug goes in, and as you're screwing into the plug, it touches the back end and the two side pieces open up a bit like wings opening. Inside your wall, they've extended sideways and you can't then pull that plug out, so it's secure behind the plasterboard of your wall. If you've got hollow walls, this self-boring plug is one of the best things you can use. We absolutely love them. They're so easy. All you need to do is use it like you would a screw. You've got a plus Phillips screwdriver end here, and you can do it manually with a screwdriver, but we'd recommend that you use your combination drill with that head on it, so your plus head, and then just screw it slowly into the plasterboard, being careful not to embed it, so don't go beyond the surface of the plaster, so slow and steady, and it'll come with a screw when you buy it, so use that screw, and again that goes directly into the self-boring plug and it gives you an easy flush finish. That's all you need to know about drill bits and wall fixings. When you know what wall type you have and the rough weight of what you're going to hang, the plugs that you're using give you all the other information that you need on the packaging. It's at this point that Wayne and I want to say a massive congratulations! You've made it to the end of the modules on the must-have guide to tools. And because we have so much confidence in you as DIY doers, there's one final module that's all about how to hang a shelf. It's a step-by-step guide, because once you've grasped how to hang a shelf at home, there really is nothing stopping you from doing those other DIY jobs around the house with all the tools you've learned how to use.
Do that again.
All moved. The whole house moved.
That Princess Cell Block H.